Ben, welcome to the Awesome Dad Show. How are you?
Never been better.
It's great to have you here. I love what you've been doing. We got to meet first time today at Dad 2 conference. So how are you liking it so far?
Absolutely amazing. The energy. I've heard you're the average of the 5 closest people in your life, but when you're at a conference, you're the average of the 5 closest energies. And you have 200 people that are at an energy level that you can't get anywhere else in a conference.
Love that. Love that. So, Ben, why don't you tell all the active dads out there what you do? What's your passion? What are you working on?
So my passion project is I'm the host of the Military Veteran Dad podcast. I have a simple mission to bring every military dad home. We come home physically, but we don't come home mentally. We have these emotional barriers, and we come to hard conclusions that either our family is better off without us, and we kill ourselves, or our life explodes and we end up getting divorced and completely being removed from our family's life. So it's my objective to help give military dads the tools, the understanding of what they're not feeling, and help them come back home to their family.
I mean, I love that mission. It's so important. Mental health is not something that gets talked about enough. So I love that you're leaning into that. How is, as being a Marine yourself, how is putting on a show like that helped you to overcome the challenges of making that transition?
Well, first you have to almost be the exact opposite of what people view a Marine as. So I gave you a hug earlier, and the idea of being a Marine giving a hug, those two don't go together. I cry at happy endings in movies all the time, and those two things don't go together. Those aren't the picture board commercial Marines that you see. So it's almost like being the opposite of who I'm supposed to be. It helps me be more polar, to be a voice for this, because I'm a very emotional person. Being a Marine, I have the training of the Marines, but at the same time I have this depth with emotional that kind of brings those two of not being an emotional person in the Marine Corps, but then also being an emotional person already and figuring out how those two can survive together. Helps me find a stronger voice too. I often find what my gift is that helping dads put words to feelings that they haven't been able to acknowledge are actually there. Like they'll hear a podcast, and I've said things. I was telling my story about friendships. There was a dad that came up to me and started crying immediately before even saying hello. Wow. Because I put words to what he wasn't acknowledging.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the power of hosting a show and having a show, is you can just reach so many more people than you could by just having conversations one-on-one. I really believe in that. How has it helped you become a better father, hosting a show and taking on that responsibility? Has it helped you? How has it helped you?
I would say with podcasting, or really anytime you pick a vehicle of improvement like this, you can't help but grow. And so, and also you just learn it from experience. So you ask other dads questions, you learn what they're doing, you can incorporate in your life, and you can kind of cherry pick the best parts of other people's lives and incorporate that to our lives. Like for 100,000 years, men did life in tribes. The last 200, we thought we could do it alone. And there's just not enough wisdom there to grow a very depth to a father. And by doing a podcast and interviewing that, I have the knowledge of 75 dads within my repertoire now, because I've heard their story, they've impacted me, and I've incorporated those tools with my podcast and my father. And even just being more present with my kids, like I see more perspective and other views of what other dads don't have. So I appreciate more what I have and what I can create, and I get more excited for the potential of what I can create.
I'm curious, what was the most important lesson you learned as a Marine?
One, like maybe important one that kind of continues to fade in, is that you don't die in war because you miss the big things. You die in war because you miss the small things. And that's a lot of truth in fatherhood. Like, it's not about the big moments in life. It's when your son's needing your emotional connection and you need to be present to be there. Like, that's going to carry him forward as growing up as a man. Or a daughter, when you feel an emotion for her, in that moment she's crying where maybe you don't want to deal with it, that little detail is a micro moment where you become a better father and they become a stronger kid.
I mean, that really resonates with me. I think a lot of times I get so caught up in the big picture that I forget about how important those
little details is why you die in more.
Yeah.
You forgot the tripwire. You forgot your basic training of how to approach a building, how to breach a door. Like, those little details that you train for every day, or how you survive through it. Not the big picture of how to conquer the mountain. It's all the little steps to get to the top of that mountain. And a lot of that is fatherhood, where all those little micro moments build up to that moment where they leave the house and you've gotten to the top of the hill, but it's all those little micro moments that create a strong adult.
Well, I think it's an important niche, an important group of people that you're serving, so I really appreciate that, Ben. Where can everyone find you and find out more about what you're doing?
So I'm pretty much anywhere social media is. On Twitter, I'm at Ben Killoy. On Instagram, I am at Ben_Killoy. There's also a handle for the podcast at Military Veteran Dad on Instagram. Website is militaryveterandad.com. My email is ben@militaryveterandad.com. I'm about as flexible and open as a person you can find. 5 years ago, I didn't have any friends in my life, and I don't have any products I sell, but I offer friendship free because I try to show up for friends that I wish I had 5 years ago in my life, and that's what I offer, and I offer it free. And anybody that needs a conversation or needs to feel something or get something off their chest, that we weren't designed as men to do life alone. And there's a story in the Marine Corps that if you couldn't lift something, that just means you didn't have enough Marines lifting it. Like, it wasn't like you needed a fork truck. It was, oh, you needed 20 Marines to lift this pallet. And I've equated that to life. Like, if you can't lift what life's given you, that's just because you don't have enough people around you to help lift it.
Yeah.
And you need that tribe. So if you need a friend to help lift something, reach out, find someone in your network, find someone that you can talk to, because you're not meant to carry everything that life gives you.
I love that messaging. I really do. One last question before I let you go here, Ben. If you had a billboard that could reach millions and millions and millions of fathers, what would you put on that billboard?
Well, that's a very good question. I like that question.
Yeah.
If I could put a billboard, probably this is, I'll say it very simply, the one vehicle that would have transformed my life in 2007 when I got out of the Marine Corps that I didn't adopt until when I was 32, which is how I started getting friends, is I have become addicted to talking to strangers. The opportunities exist in conversation. You want to move your life forward from X to Y. You can maybe potentially do that all on your own, but you're going to need people. And people is where opportunity is at. Someone has a job, someone has an idea. You can't get to those opportunities unless you're talking to people. So
yeah.
I would put a billboard that says, talk to as many strangers as possible every day and twice on Sunday.
I love that. I love that.
Because
I
that's
appreciate
where
your
magic
service,
happens.
Ben. Really appreciate your service. Thank you so much.
Thank you.